close out the whole Vlogmas series and the little extra video that I did with a final video, just as my way of wishing you all a happy new year. So I hope you had a really good happy new year last night on New Year's Eve, and that you spent it exactly how you wanted to. For us, that was a really relaxing evening. We had some sort of picky bits of food and a glass of Prosecco, and the Doritos came out shortly before midnight. But I must admit, the fireworks situation in London I was a bit disappointed with. It seems to be a carbon copy every year of exactly the same type of music and the same shots of, yeah, so maybe I'm being a bit miserable about the whole thing, but I just didn't think it was very inspiring. I think they could try and mix things up a little bit. And the fireworks around in our sort of area were very bizarre, because there were quite a lot of fireworks going off at about 11:20 last night, and then again about 12:30, but not much actually at midnight. So I'm not quite sure what that was about. But anyway, we just about saw the new year in and then headed off to bed. But I hope you had a really happy new year, whatever you chose to do. So this is a little review of some of the crafty things that I had planned to do during Vlogmas that I didn't quite get round to. Got a couple of things to show you, and then kind of some plans for 2020. So I'll start off by just showing you the progress on my Christmas Eve cast on socks. You may remember that I had completed one. It's not blocked or end sewn in yet, and I'm about ready to start the shaping for the heel on the second one. So they're coming along really nicely. I don't want that to become a really lingering whip, so I thought I would get that one off the needles as soon as I can. Now, I did get quite a few of the crafty things that I wanted to complete during Vlogmas, but there were a couple of things that I fell woefully behind on and didn't even actually start. So I need your advice, really. One of which was my holiday, I'm saying holiday because I can see the word vintage holiday on here, the Christmas quilt that I planned to make. And I had a big, I'll just show you, I had all the fabric ready, a couple of charm packs, little bits of yardage for binding and so on, and the backing fabric and everything all ready. And I have got some wadding as well put away. That's not very interesting to show you. And as you can see, this didn't even get a look in, so I'm not sure really whether I should try and get ahead of the game for next year and start it anyway while I'm still sort of feeling a little bit Christmassy, and just get it done, and then I can put it away and be really pleased with myself next Christmas when I get it out. Or should I just put it away and wait till sort of autumn time and then start it again? So let me know what you would do if you were in this situation. But I just feel bad that I've got all this lovely fabric and it's all just sitting here ready to go. You know, I'm wondering if I just make a start and get the top done, get the actual top of the quilt done, and then complete it in the autumn. It won't be, you know, sort of break it up a bit. But yeah, let me know what you would do with that. Similarly, I bought, I did show these before, but I bought a couple of embroidery kits from Nikki Franklin at the Stitchery. This one is the Carol Singer, which is really, really sweet. And the other one I got was the charity pattern for the Christmas sweater day. I've shown all these before, but so this is a really cute little gingerbread man, and Nikki then released some threads specifically for that project, which I bought because I thought it'd be nice to have the threads that she's used. So they're really pretty, and in that, if you donated for the pattern, she also included a piece of linen with the pattern sort of marked out on it so that you're ready to start stitching. So yeah, it's a similar situation with those. Do I put them away until next Christmas, or do I sort of make a start and carry on regardless? I'm really not sure what to do. So yeah, any advice is greatly appreciated. Okay, so something that I wanted to share with you all is a lovely surprise that came through the post. I did a swap with Marilisa from Spool Stories, and she needed some yarn for her granny square I don't think it was granny square or granny stripe. It was a scrappy blanket that she's been working on. She needed some more minis, and I had heaps of scraps, so I sent some to her, and she kindly offered to send a little something for the podcast, and she popped something in for me as well. So That was really kind. Thank you, Marilisa. That's much appreciated. And what she sent were these two gorgeous, I'm going to try and just make sure they're looking their best. She sent these two beautiful pouches, which I would think are fabulous for Notion pouches, but you could use them for anything really, cosmetics, or just to keep little bits and pieces in your bag, like your headphones and a lip gloss and bits and pieces like that. But aren't they sweet? And they're so well made. And inside each one she has put a lotion bar, which I'm assuming that she's made, and they're these sort of push-up ones, a bit like the Tuft Woolen ones, and they smell amazing. So I thought that was a really lovely little surprise to receive. That's her card, Spool Stories, and she's at spoolstories.com, where she sells her bags and other things. So do check her out. And what I plan to do is I'm going to keep one of these and put my notions in, and I'm going to do a giveaway for one on my next podcast, so keep an eye out for that. I think I'm veering towards this sort of aqua blue one for myself and this one for the giveaway, but they're super pretty, and I think it's such a good idea for, as I said, for notions. So plans for crafty things for 2020. Last year I did a make 9, and it was it's fun to do and to plan things out, but of course a year is a very long time, and you do change your mind and new patterns come along and all that kind of thing, and you kind of get a little bit waylaid. And my make 9, I probably think about 3, maybe 4 of them I did. I haven't actually double checked, but I didn't actually achieve many of the make 9. So what I'm going to do this year is try and do something each month, something knitting related, something sewing related, sort of machine sewing, and possibly some embroidery. Like, start a new project each month, and I think that will mix things up a little bit for me, and hopefully get more variety in my crafting. So the first thing I'm going to do for knitting, I've got it in my lovely Sandy by the Lakeside bag, is there is a knit along for 2020 being run by Amy of Exterminate. I'll put her details on the screen for you. And she's running a scrappy sock along for the whole of 2020, and it's run quarterly. So the first quarter, the cast on starts today, 1st of January, and that goes up until, I'd need to check the dates, but I'll link and you can see her post on Instagram. And the first quarter's theme is colour, because obviously it's quite a dark time of the year, so it's brightness and colour. And then springtime and animals and flowers, I think, is the next one. Stripes, and then I think it's like Christmassy sort of things. So, but you can, I'll put all the information, I'll put her tag on the screen and you can have a look. So I had a little look through my stash yesterday, and I'm really going for the brightness, which you will see. And I've got some beautiful yarn minis and scraps in my bag here, which I think will work really well. So I'm just going to do some toe up scrappy socks. I might even do the Soul Sisters socks, which I know I do all the time, but because I love it. So I've chosen some really nice bright yarns. So I've got these two here. I've got this one, which is a Hedgehog Fibres mini, which has got the bright pinks, the sort of limey greens, turquoises on a natural base. I think that's all going to blend in quite nicely. Am I going to be able to hold all these? No, I don't think I will. There are a couple of minis here, a really fluorescent sort of highlighter green and a more appley sort of green, and they all sort of seem to blend well with this. I hope it's coming up well enough on the camera. And then I have got these 3 minis, which I've been saving for just the right project, and let me just get them all looking gorgeous. And these 3 minis, as you can see there, that's better. These 3 minis were given to me by Cherie from Ollie and Bella when we met up. We exchanged little presents, and these are 3 minis from some yarn that she dyed herself. So I wanted to keep them for something special, and I think they're going to mix beautifully in this palette to make some really bright scrappy socks. So that will be my next cast on. I'm really sorely tempted to just do it, but I really should get the Christmas Eve cast on socks out of the way. So perhaps if I get past the heel and onto the straight knitting for the leg, then I'll cast these on. And I've chosen a really pretty progress keeper. This is still in the packet. I'll get the crinkling out of the way. And this is a Mary Poppins progress keeper that I got from Candy Shop Yarns, and it's made by Little Bitty Delights, but it's little Mary Poppins hat and little bow tie on there. So I thought that would look really cute with all those lovely bright yarns. So that's going to be my first knitting project. I'll switch over to I'm going to lay out some fabric projects that I'm thinking of doing, and I'll show you those in a mo. Okay, as you can see, I've laid out some of the fabric projects that I'm thinking of doing in this new year. One a month, or more if I get time, but at least one a month is the plan. So let me just show you in a little bit more detail. So the first one here is a kit that I bought at the Duxford Quilting Show, and this is for a log cabin cushion cover. It's from Worn and Washed Fabrics, and as you can see, it's got some really lovely, as the name suggests, these are sort of reclaimed fabrics that have all been pre-cut, and they're all sort of soft and worn. I think that'll make a really, really nice project, actually. Let me just show you on the back. I don't know if it's quite a small log cabin, but it did make a really cute little cushion that she had on display at the show. So that's one option. As I said, I'm not sure which one I'm going to start with. The next one is the Finch bucket, which is a pattern by Stitch Mischief. That's Jade on Instagram. And I've got some really lovely Rifle Company fabric here that I've had for quite a while. So I really love this print. So I think that's going to look gorgeous as a Finch bucket project bag. And this lovely sort of navy blue linen to use as the base. And I've got the webbing for the handle as well. So that's all good to go. And I'm keeping all these little projects. I've sort of put all the materials together, apart from the thread and that, and just pop them in these little Ziploc bags that I got in Tesco's, just to keep the project pieces all together. So that's another one. Just moving over to this side. Now, you may remember seeing, I'm not sure if I showed it on the podcast or on my Instagram, but I made this, actually I've got the wrong pattern there. That's for something completely different. But it's from the same designer. So this is a needle case that I made, which is, let me see if I can open it up. So this is a interchangeable needle case that I made. And you can see it's got all the little sections here for your needles and the cords sitting there, and you can just roll it up and it just secures with a tie, and it's got a little zippy pocket on the front, which I keep all the little keys for tightening up the needles in. And that is from Confessions of a Homeschooler, which is Erica Arndt, and the needle case tutorial is actually a free pattern. So if you check out her YouTube channel or her Instagram, and you'll be able to get that there. But I also printed this out, which is a really nice sort of tote bag, so that's definitely on the list as well. But as I said, I've made this one previously, and they're such fun to make, so I thought I'd get a couple of other, sort of make myself up a couple of kits to make some more, because I thought it'd be nice for sort of giveaways for the podcast or gifts for friends. So this set here that I've made up is all, well, you'll see it blends nicely with my quilt, which is underneath it. It's all the bits of fabric that I had left over from making the quilt. So there's some the patterned fabrics there. That's the same ribbon that I used for the closure on the one I just showed you. I've even got quite a bit of binding that's all good to go, sort of scrappy binding, and the zips in here. So that is literally all good to go. And it does make it easier, I think, because it takes time to get all the supplies together. And another one that I'm planning of the same pattern is this one here, which is some really nice fat quarters that I picked up, and I've got a matching zip in here in the yellow, and I've even put the wadding in this one, so that's all good to go as well. So there's quite a few things here that are sort of ready to go. I just need to find the time to get the sewing done, hence the plan to do a sewing project every month. And something that I want to do sort of quite imminently is a little project here, which is a little sort of secret mission, just to make a little zippy case out of this lovely pug fabric, little pug in space, which is really cute with the red star lining fabric. I've got a navy zip and this really cute little pug charm to go on the zip, which you can see I got from designed by Esme on Etsy. So yeah, that's another little project. And I think I'll probably start with this one and then decide which I'm going to do of the others. And I'm spoilt for choice really, aren't I? I've got some lovely fabric, and I think the key here is that I don't need to be buying anything new. I've got so much lovely fabric and patterns to work from, same as with my knitting really. So yeah, those are some of the fabric projects that I'm going to be working on in the Well, I hope you enjoyed having a little look at some of those sewing plans that I've got for 2020, and that you've got lots of plans yourself. So do share if you've got any plans that you want to let us know about. Follow me on Instagram. I'll be sharing some pictures on there. I've neglected my Instagram a little bit while I've been doing Vlogmas, but I do plan to rectify that. And I will look forward to seeing you in the next podcast, which will hopefully be at some point during January. I think if anything, this doing Vlogmas has taught me that I don't need to get quite so anxious and het up about preparing a podcast, and just to get on and do it is so much fun. And once I do it, I really enjoy it. So I'm hoping to mix it up a little bit, the podcast going forward, with a little bit of vlogging as well. So I hope you'll enjoy that. But Happy New Year again to you all, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next podcast. Bye.